Now another whistleblower, Edward Snowden, who wrote the foreword for the assassination complex. Snowden writes, quote, "These disclosures about the Obama administration's killing program reveal there's a part of the American character that's deeply concerned with the unrestrained, unchecked exercise of power. And there is no greater or clearer manifestation of unchecked power than assuming for oneself the authority to execute an individual outside of a battlefield context and without the involvement of any sort of judicial process." That's Edward Snowden. Jeremy Scahill, take it from there.
Well, and one of the things that Ed Snowden also addresses, and this, by the way, this is a very substantive essay that Ed Snowden wrote that is both personal and political in nature, and he writes about how there's a difference between whistleblowing and leaking. And he talks about the difference between the authorized leaks in Washington and the sharing of classified information with mistresses, as David Petraeus did, and then people like Daniel Ellsberg or Chelsea Manning and others. And Snowden says that it's an act of political resistance when you are engaged in that kind of whistleblowing, and of course states what now has become painfully obvious, that the Obama administration is engaged in a war not against leakers, but against whistleblowers. There was just the CIA was live tweeting, their version of what happened in the compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, the night that Osama bin Laden was killed. And the Central Intelligence Agency and it was basically a sieve in the immediate aftermath of that operation. But more, the political people in the White House, the people that were closest to President Obama, were deliberately feeding journalists and media a completely false narrative about what took place in that raid. And none of them were held accountable for, or even, viewed as having done something wrong by releasing all of the information that turned out to be false that they did about a firefight happening, about bin Laden putting one of his wives in front of him. I mean, almost everything that John Brennan and his buddies said in the immediate aftermath, because they were rushing to plant the flag of victory on Osama bin Laden's dead corpse, turned out to be propaganda or just wrong. And so, when you have people of courage who leak, who provide documents, classified documents of the nature that Edward Snowden did to Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras, that the source for the assassination complex book did in providing these documents to us. These are people motivated by conscience who understand that their lives will never be the same as a result of what they've done. They are not people like Sandy Berger who can go in and stuff classified documents and down his pants and then walk away from it. They're not David Petraeus who gets a slap on the hand. These are people that know that they are going to be in the target sites of the most powerful institution in world history, and that is the U.S. empire.
We're going to break and then come back to this discussion. We're talking to Jeremy Scahill, the Intercept co-founder with Glenn Greenwald, who's also with us from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The book is The Assassination Complex, Inside the Government's Secret Drone Warfare Program. It's out today. Stay with us.